there is less than a 0% chance for Arsenal to win this game over 2 legs. It is not possible. It is not going to happen. It is never going to happen. If it happens, football will end. If it happens, the Champions League will not continue. Arsenal have a better chance of winning the Formula 1 Championship than beating Real Madrid over 2. What are we talking about here? Look, I understand Ancelotti does not have to coach. If Ancelotti did not need to coach against Man City and he beat them, it's not Arteta that will make Ancelotti coach. Granted, he will lose the coaching battle because he always does. Arteta will outclass him, will outcoach him. Everybody will say, I see what Arteta tried to do. But how much? You will say Arteta tried. Friday, which means only football is back. It's not rugby, it's not tennis, it's not basketball, it's only football, baby. My name is Tunde Young, bringing you the greatest podcast on earth with my comrades, Joba Ogunwale, Izuchukwu Akawor. Faruq is here and a special guest. This man is the host of Nigeria's leading digital media argumentative discussion show.
You don't hear me too much.
Oh, you assume I was talking about you. Of course I was talking about you. Jimmy Anisulowo joins us. Like, I got your last name right.
Yeah, Anisulowo.
Yeah, Did you
Jimmy
call us
Anisulowo.
comrades?
All right, I'm just going to ignore that. I'm going to ignore that.
I have to ask.
COMRADES.
Okay.
Whatever you heard.
So
I don't.
comrades.
That's what. How do they pronounce that word?
I don't know.
Raid, Lorrads.
Comrades. That's how I know it. Okay. And I went to a private school. So, like, I don't know what you want me to say. But yeah, Jimmy joins us on the show, graces us with his presence, dressed like a Pixar character. I don't know.
Like you want to think about the word or something.
Yeah. Dressed like low budget Gru.
That's what I was going for, actually.
Welcome. Thank you for gracing
It's good
us.
to be here. It's good to be here.
Yeah. So there's a lot to talk about. Episode 8 of the podcast. Come on, man. Clap it up. We are talking about a very traumatic subject for Joba, Trent Alexander Arnold leaving Liverpool. I like that Joba is even wearing his Liverpool outfit today. Leaving Liverpool to join Real Madrid. We discussed the Champions League as well. There's a whole lot on the menu, NPFL and whatnot. So, who's ready to get started? I am. Thank you very much for rocking with us. Thank you. Episode 8, we couldn't have gotten here without you, the viewers, the listeners, the watchers, the likers, the subscribers, the sharers, the commenters, even though your comments are not good, but stick bewa. So, thank you very much. Please continue to do that. Tell somebody about OnlyFootball. Listen on Spotify. Watch on YouTube. Like, share, comment, subscribe. All that thing you'll be doing. Continue doing this. Let's get into the show. Come on. On that note, the UEFA Champions League, this is the last episode we have before the Champions League actually kicks off. So, the UEFA Champions League kicks off on Tuesday and Wednesday, the quarterfinals. Real Madrid versus Arsenal, or is it Arsenal versus Real Madrid first? Arsenal versus Real Madrid first. Bayern Munich versus
Inter.
Milan.
Yeah.
Inter Milan. Sorry, I'm falling off. But yeah, I'm back. Arsenal, Real Madrid on Tuesday. Bayern Munich, Inter on Tuesday. Then on Wednesday, we have Barcelona, Dortmund, and PSG versus Aston Villa. So those are the 4 fixtures to dissect at this moment. And thank God I'm surrounded with football men, people that know the game in total. Arsenal, Bukayo Saka is back, but Gabriel Magalhaes also suffered what looks like a serious injury against Fulham. How does that impact their chances? First of all, does Arsenal have it? I want to ask you, but I also feel like I know what he's going to say.
No. Actually, I'm going to surprise you because watching the Madrid versus Real Sociedad match, you would have been expecting Madrid to blow them away, but look at the cheap goals that they considered. Played 1-0 in the first leg and ended up playing, it was 4-4. So it was quite surprising. And you look at the fact that Arsenal are already boosted with Bukayo Saka's return. Mm-hmm. So we of course we will be trolling Arsenal that they cannot see anything that Arteta is going to come and play haram football. But football has shown us that anything can happen. And yes, we can troll Arsenal from today to tomorrow, but the fact still remains that they are still one of the biggest clubs in the world. They are still one of the best clubs in the world. No matter as bad as their injury problems have been, he's still second. So yeah, like I said, so yes, everybody's rooting for Real Madrid. We are trolling Arsenal, but
Everybody.
okay, so you speak for most people are rooting for Real Madrid, but like that Real Sociedad match just like shook me, to be honest.
I don't think if you are familiar with Real Madrid's record in the Copa del Rey, I don't think that's enough to shake anyone. Real Madrid are not great in the Copa del Rey. The Champions League is a different ball game. Their record in the Copa del Rey is quite frankly ridiculous. I'll look it up and get us the facts as we continue. But Faruq, as the resident La Liga guy, are you at all scared for Real Madrid going to this series against Arsenal?
I mean, it's Real Madrid in the Champions League, so there's no point being scared for them. I want them to win. I mean, because I want the La Liga coefficients to improve, so Real Betis can possibly qualify for the Champions League if we manage to finish fifth. But seriously, if I was a Real Madrid fan, I would not fancy our chances because Real Madrid have not looked great in big games this season. I get that you're Real Madrid and the Champions League brouhaha or whatever, but I mean, they've shown that they are vulnerable and their defense is, you can get at them. And Mikel Arteta is one of those managers that can devise a solid tactical setup to exploit that, because you don't even have to do much to exploit Real Madrid defensively. Now, when you're now facing a manager like Mikel Arteta that can devise something to break your defense down, and then going the other way, what makes Real Madrid so good in games like this is because even though their defense is bad, they have such good attackers that they can turn it up when they are motivated. But Arsenal have one of the best defenses in Europe, like banter aside. You can even argue that they have, in the past 2-3 seasons, they've had the best defense in Europe. And yeah,
I think that's a bit of a myth, like this season, but go ahead.
Yeah, okay. It's maybe the Gabriel injury changes the dynamics and makes it a bit more dicey for them. But if I was a betting man, I would stake. I would be backing.
Exactly why I was laughing.
You don't say code wicked.
He said if I was here.
I was fasting.
Wow, yeah. Okay.
Should we be expecting?
No. What's wrong with you people?
But you have fornicated, you have drunk, so might as well just send
I
the code.
don't do any of those things. What's wrong with you? People watch this show. So, like I was saying, if you have to put money behind it, I mean, Arsenal would be the sensible choice, to be honest. Because yeah, that's the point that's what I've been leading to.
Wait, so you are saying
we don't listen to you.
Wait, so you are saying that if you were to bet now, you bet on Arsenal to
Yeah,
win
that's
now.
the point I'm making. Real Madrid
Just send me code.
Real Madrid have not looked good in big games this season. That is it. Like against Atletico Madrid, against Barcelona, even against Salzburg in the Champions League. They eventually won that game. Even against Lille, they lost against Lille now. So they've not particularly looked great in any of the big games they've played, in any of the big matches they've played this season. Even against Villarreal, they lost to Betis recently. So if you can create any sort of attacking consistency, like you can regularly create attacking patterns and get at them, you would score Real Madrid.
Yeah, but does that mean you will win? Because Real Madrid, one thing about Real Madrid, we know Real Madrid would always allow you play as an opponent. Real Madrid are not the type that will dominate. You will enjoy game. You will just still lose.
Yeah, but how many teams can be defensively solid like Arsenal? We saw them struggle to break down Atletico Madrid.
But they were advanced.
And you've also
more resolutely than Atletico Madrid.
And you've also mentioned Gabriel's injury, which means
Atletico
you see
Madrid have
that.
not been like super, like their defenders are Clement Lenglet.
All right. So I've seen what is happening on the left of this show. Let us see what the thieves on the right are up to. Izu, please tell me what I want to hear. Real Madrid are absolutely good to smash us now, right?
Well, when it comes to Arsenal, most times I think it's the hope that kills. Real Madrid will give you hope and then snatch it at the right time. So can you beat them over 2 legs?
They've done it before.
Qualify. So
They have done it before.
okay, they have done it before.
So
they're about to.
I don't care.
They're about to do it again. Well, let's do it again. Okay. So I think over 2 legs is difficult. Maybe at the Emirates, Arsenal might take that one very slim. I mean, if you believe they have the best defense, I don't think they have the best attack. So one has attack, the other one, the defense now is depleted because I don't think they have the same units when one of the two.
No Gabriel, no Calafiori.
Yes,
No Ben
you know. So, but I still expect them to fight because as a unit, they are better than they've been in a while. But over 2 legs, let me give Arsenal hope because this thing is. I'm being a bit sarcastic now. Arsenal to beat.
It's back by the way.
Even that is a bar. It's being sarcastic. That's all. Izu Vector the Viper. Joba, please. Give it to me as straight as possible. Pause. Arsenal versus Real Madrid, who is advancing?
First of all, I want to correct one notion. I don't think Arsenal have the best defense in Europe.
I said
That's
one of.
Inter.
I said one
I
of.
think Inter Milan. I think Inter has have the best defense in Europe. As for the game, yes, I think Arsenal do have a chance. Because I think their game is going to, like, the way they will set up is going to be difficult for Madrid to play because Madrid will be forced to play. Madrid is a team that thrives on the counter. Especially with Kylian Mbappe, Rodrigo, and then Vinicius Junior. And Arsenal is the way Arteta sets up his team. They are a team that doesn't give you space to thrive, and I think that's really, really going to affect the way Madrid sets up. Especially, I mean, Ancelotti will have to coach now because
Which is not happening.
he will have to coach. But the thing is, there is this aura that Madrid has have in the Champions League where you can't just write them off. I mean, when you write them off, someone comes up, individual brilliance, maybe from Vinicius Junior, Kylian Mbappe, Rodrigo. I mean, there is quality in that attack, in that attacking line. So I would love to say Arsenal to go through, but I just don't see how Madrid. I mean, especially considering the second leg is at Bernabeu. I think one thing that works in Arsenal favor though is that Madrid are still in 3 competitions. So they can't afford to rest players, especially going into the 2 weekends. Arsenal, I mean, the league is probably over, not mathematically over, but they know that the Champions League is what they want to focus on. So I think that gives them that advantage. But with Madrid's quality and their history in the Champions League, I just don't think you can write them off. So I'll go for Madrid for this one.
All right. Since everybody on this panel has decided to be pussyfooting today, I'm going to come out and say what I want to say as emphatically as possible. There is less than a 0% chance for Arsenal to win this game over 2 legs. It is not possible. It is not going to happen. It is never going to happen. If it happens, football will end. If it happens, the Champions League will not continue. Arsenal have a better chance of winning the Formula 1 Championship than beating Real Madrid over 2. What are we talking about here?
Arsenal have been very good in big games.
Who they don't play? Which big games?
Oh, they are Premier League big games. They've not lost to a big system in 2 seasons
Good.
or so now.
Hope Chelsea is not part of this thing. Hope you are not counting Chelsea to use to make this point. Please. I don't know why we are doing
When you
this.
say they've not lost to a big 16, are you talking about the Premier League?
The Premier League,
Yeah,
yeah,
the Premier
yeah.
League, yeah.
And I understand that start. But to your point about Arsenal having the best defense, blah blah blah.
I said one of.
They are a good team defensively, but this season they've been considering a lot, and people are ignoring that. Only 1 clean sheet in their last 6 games. Guess who that clean sheet was against? Chelsea.
I mean, like,
Bombs.
they've been struggling with injury problems. So, and
Whatever your problems are, look, I understand Ancelotti does not have to coach. If Ancelotti did not need to coach against Man City and he beat them, it's not Arteta that make Ancelotti coach. Granted, he will lose the coaching battle because he always does. Arteta will outclass him, will outcoach him. Everybody will say, I see what Arteta tried to do. How much? You will say Arteta tried.
I mean, he tried now. He has tried.
Anybody can coach. But what can you do to stop Rodrigo, Mbappe, Vinicius and Bellingham. Really, what can you do? Fede Valverde. What can you really do? Modric coming off the bench. Tell me what you can really do as a coach to do anything about that. It doesn't matter what your coaching style is. You will lose. Especially if you're Arsenal. But let's move on from Arsenal and talk about, for me, the game of the round. In my opinion. Inter versus Bayern Munich. Yeah. I'm looking forward to this one.
The schedule is even kind of surprising to me. They put Arsenal, Madrid, and Inter Bayern on the same day, on the same day.
I mean, they are not doing it by quality of football. It's by viewership. Nobody's trying to watch a Serie A team play a Bundesliga team. It's just fact.
That's true. But I mean, Bayern hosts Inter first.
Inter and first leg.
I'm definitely going for Inter. I think what will win it for Inter here is, I think Simone Inzaghi is a fantastic coach, and I don't think there is a team good in transition as Inter Milan. They are really, 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 they are good. I mean, from the back to the front, and I mean, boom, Lautaro Martinez, and then
Thuram.
And then Thuram also. So, and they have this strong defense. Yes, they play three at the back and all that, but there is a way Inzaghi sets up the team that makes it difficult for...
I saw a Sofa score stat. Sorry to cut you. I saw a Sofa score stat that Alessandro Bastoni has only been able to record one error leading to goal for him in over 200 games.
He's one of the best.
Over 200 games.
He's one of the best.
But actually does that in 15 minutes.
He's one of the best. And also with Alphonso Davies out for Bayern. I mean, it's really... I don't see...
Are you sure that's the only reason? Because, again, UEFA have started. The main reason is that companies don't do that. I don't know why people... What kind of energy are we on?
I'm about to get to that.
Please go into it.
I'm about to get to that. I think... in this type of games, coaching is going to be a major factor, and I think Inzaghi holds the upper hand here. You could probably see his imprint on the Inter Milan team. You can't say the same thing for Vincent's company.
I mean, just like I said during the Real Madrid versus Arsenal segments, Inter Milan have not been great in big games this season. I get that they are tactical miracle. It is evidence. We saw what company was able to do against Bayer Leverkusen. Even though you would argue that Xabi Alonso is the more tactically sound manager, we saw how he negated him and he beat him properly. AC Milan have been struggling greatly this season. They are currently 9th, and did they not beat Inter also? Inter also failed to beat Atlanta also. So, yeah.
They beat Atlanta.
I think the first leg or so.
They beat Atlanta 2-1 recently.
Okay, it was fast in that period.
I stand corrected.
Never jump.
I missed out. I missed out on 60
Did they not also lose the Super Copa in the Super Copa?
That was last year now.
It's still this season. Point is that they've not been particularly as good in this season as they were last season, especially in cup matches. So, yeah, and I would back Bayern because the attacking players are playing at an incredibly high level this season. Lautaro has not really been good. He has not scored up to 12 league goals. Ademola Lookman has more goals than Lautaro Martinez this season. So, yeah, I would put my chips behind the team with the stronger offensive weapon. So that's Bayern Munich.
Fast as ended, you're all of a sudden talking about chips. Let's move on to the Wednesday games because we do have a lot to talk about. Barcelona versus Dortmund. I think there's only one winner there. Are we?
No, I don't think.
Yeah.
Do we need to talk about that?
They've already played this season already, and now Barcelona beat them comfortably.
The one that I actually think there's a capacity for upset, and I want Izu to take this because it's the one that has been backing this team so far. PSG Aston Villa. Is Aston Villa's run ending now, or can they take it a step further?
I think this is this might just be PSG's. Yeah, Aston Villa for me has done well as a team. Even if they leave now or to PSG, there won't be any. It won't be a disgrace or a failure for them.
So there's no chance of an upset.
I'm not saying there is no chance, because when I don't know if this guy will play against his parent club, Asensio. Yeah, so that kind of player might also, play a very huge part. So there's a chance that Villa might do something against PSG. They are not a team you should joke with, because there are people with things to prove. And that includes the manager as well. Emery, that's his former club. So he wants to let them know that this was a tournament you people chased me away for.
And Rashford wants to show his
Rashford
former
wants
club
to
that
want to
he's
show
hard
that the last time I, booted you guys out, it wasn't a fluke, because Rashford was part of the only team
working. I remember that.
that
The
defeated
miracle in
PSG.
Paris.
Yes, so this is another opportunity, because nobody gave United a chance in that particular game, considering what happened in the first leg.
And rightly so.
Yes, and then Mountain moved. So this is another opportunity for, a team like Aston Villa to perhaps move another mountain, but I don't see it happening. This man Enrique is on a mission, and with Dembele playing the game of his life, I just think PSG, maybe if PSG play as good as they did against the small team from Anfield, I think they will blow Aston Villa away.
The only reason I want the PSG win is because Barcelona PSG semi is significantly more enticing than Barcelona Aston Villa.
Yeah.
So I want to see that. But other than that, I'm backing Aston Villa to advance, and I was hoping Izu would be on my side, because the last few times I have predicted emphatically on this show, it has come to pass. But this time, what your predictions are just. So I'm definitely not betting on them. I'm definitely not betting on
To
them.
be fair, Emery is the coach you want to have in this kind of fixture.
I
mean,
fancy an upset.
yeah, it's the kind of coach you want to have back against the wall, trying to get scraps of the counter. We saw him do it against that highly offensive Bayern Munich side.
Also-
Was it 2 or 3 years ago with Villarreal?
Yeah.
So yeah, he's the coach you want to have, but I mean, it's still PSG. They are very dynamic, and with the way Oli Watkins is currently missing like 10 chances before he scores one. Yeah, in those kind of games, you have to be able to finish your chances, like
Aston
because
Villa will
your
concede.
chances will be few and far between, so you have to finish your chances.
Aston Villa will
I
concede
don't think
6.
Aston Villa has any chance. PSG will be value out.
All right, so
Over 2 legs, 6
let's
goals.
move on. We've done it. We've done our Champions League preview. Not everybody's predictions. When we come back next week, we'll review who was right and who was wrong. The first legs will have been done. But let's talk about another thing that is done reportedly. Trent Alexander Arnold to Real Madrid as a free agent. And let me tell you, Liverpool fans are crashing out.
They should cry.
Not just fans, the former legends that are now pundits. Everybody has been crying, and me for one, I would say your tears have been sustaining me. I appreciate it.
Wait, why exactly are they crying?
I'm about to get into that, because a lot of people see it as betrayal. Trent living in his prime to go to Real Madrid, the best club in the world, my tired, which is the dream of every player. I want to know now, there is one Liverpool fan on the panel, so we have to ask him first.
There is.
Do you consider it betrayal, or are you going to speak as a fan or as a sports journalist, which is which is a player doing what is best for his career, or do you speak as a fan and say yes, he betrayed Liverpool?
I mean, if I've gotten into arguments with people on X, I've always been consistent with it. I have no problem with Trent leaving for Real Madrid, because I think football fans sometimes can be hypocritical. They can be hypocrites sometimes. And,
Every time, actually.
because if you put a football fan in that same situation, he's probably going to do what Trent did. You understand? So, but because it's football, a football player, they believe that like they should be treated differently. And I would say, if Trent had not won everything to be won at Liverpool, I would have said, I mean, why is he leaving? I mean, you can still win the Champions League, but he has won everything available to win except the Europa League.
And it looks set to even add another Premier League
To it. So, I mean, and then you don't have to blame Trent. You also have to blame Liverpool for finding themselves in this particular situation. I think they could have handled the situation. They could have dealt with the situation last season because I think the grouch that people have against Trent is that it's not because he's leaving, is that for Trent is a generational talent. He's probably going to go down as probably maybe the greatest right back of all time in the history of football game.
Why are you laughing now? Why are you laughing?
my
He
God.
said in the history of the football game, which is what I find for for Premier League it's not ridiculous, but football game.
Wait,
I don't think that's
I don't-
ridiculous.
I mean,
to be honest.
2026 or so.
It's not.
He's a generational talent. He has won everything. So for such generational talent to live on a free, it's really, really, really painful.
It's
Because
also football though,
because-
especially since you did not spend any money to sign him.
yes, we did not, but it can also be hurtful because you look at it. I mean, if Trent has maybe like 4 years left on his contract, he's going probably for 100 million.
More than that.
Yeah, more than that. So you could imagine the amount of money that would have gotten for him if Liverpool had done the needful by extending his contract.
And I agree with
last
you on that
season.
point. Liverpool put themselves in this situation because Trent, Salah, Van Dijk all have contracts expiring at the same time at the end of this season, and there's still no clear resolution till now. You, as a club, you should not allow your 3 best players
It's
get into that situation at the same time. But here's my thing. I'm always on the side of the players because I've seen the way clubs treat players they don't need.
my brother.
It is very ruthless, and the fans will agree. He's not good. Go.
Immediately.
Go.
Yes.
So now that the player has the leverage, you want him to give up a chance to join Real Madrid just to make you happy after he has done everything that he could possibly do.
I was about to. I was.
Best student. Since you are putting your hand up like you're in the classroom. Go ahead.
I didn't want to interrupt you, but for me, actually, I think Madrid are making a mistake signing him.
Ugh.
No.
Go ahead.
Wait.
Go ahead.
Let me
Go ahead.
say. Everyone knows that Alexander Arnold is, as a player, he's fantastic.
Before you land, they won the Champions League with Vasquez as their right back.
Let
Continue.
him- let him-
I know where it's going, but continue.
Yes, okay, yes, it's good,
Continue.
that, it's good that you know where I'm going. But these same Madrid fans are the ones that complain about Vasquez, that he doesn't defend, he doesn't do this, he's always leaving space.
Yeah, but he also doesn't give
That is
them
the
the
club-
attacking input
Again.
that Arnold
Yes,
give
yes.
them.
That is the club Marcelo and Roberto Carlos made their legacy. But continue again.
It's just what I think. You are complaining that you have right backs that don't defend, and you want to replace that right back with another right back that
Because
doesn't defend.
the right back is a generational
Yeah,
talent.
Exactly,
because he
like-
will give you something that your other
Okay,
defend.
so what now happens in a match where they are being dominated?
What happened in the games against Marcelo and Roberto
Interesting
Carlos?
choice.
The point is that Real Madrid is the perfect club. Like all this time that he will play games and the likes of Tim Sherwood and Gary Neville will be going on and on about what he cannot do. At Real Madrid is about what you can do. As we've said here, Real Madrid, they've really been solid defensively, but because they can turn it up offensively.
Yeah, but we've seen
And-
them in El Clasico matches this season where they were absolutely. That's my point I'm trying to make. In matches where they are unable to play their free-flowing football, that defense becomes a liability.
Okay.
And Alexander is
So
going to
they
be a
will
liability.
live and die with that. What is the probability of the
And-
matches
and I
that
also
will happen?
think-
3, 4, 5 matches in a season.
Exactly, like-
That's why you will not sign
That's
Trent.
right. I also think Arnold's defensive liability is has been over exaggerated.
You say?
How?
Like,
Nobody is the
I
most
don't-
good pass
I
defender
don't
this
think
season.
I don't think he is bad defensively as people claim to be. See, here's the thing. Because it's also something as a thing that happens in the NBA also with Luka Doncic also.
If only this show was called only NBA. Since you don't have things to talk about. Let us, because we don't have time. Our producer is already threatening us from behind the camera and they might stab us before this show ends. So let us let us move. This is how things work in Senna Climbs. So let us move to Insane Climbs, the NPFL, where apparently Lobby Stars player. This is not the laughing matter, so I'm not. And since laughing has been an issue on this show recently, so I advise everybody to not laugh. Bone face first before I give this news. Bone face, everybody straight face.
Saying that makes me want to laugh.
Lobby Stars team boss was attacked by cultists. I'm sorry.
For the record, he's the one making me laugh.
I'm sorry. We might end up deleting this episode the way it's going. But okay, all right. Let's be serious. Condolences to Lobby Stars, whose team boss was apparently attacked by Curtis. Look, some things are just funny to say because you don't hear this anywhere else. Like it's not.
When I heard
Curtis specifically.
I had to go.
Well, let our resident NPFL experts give us the insight. What happened? Like what specific cults and what were they looking for?
I don't know what you want to hear from my mouth, but the thing is, it's not unusual to have these teams get attacked.
It's not.
Yeah, because I mean,
Cultists.
a lot of them travel by road. A lot of them, so at times you hear some of these things. It
That
could
even
be
happened this season already with the number of teams. It's
Yeah,
just the cultism part that
they can have accident or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think the story is that Lobby has not been doing well. Lobby could be relegated, and apparently these guys are not really impressed with.
It's pro lobby Cultists.
They are not really impressed with what they saw.
What they
What they saw
NPFL,
from
bro.
the team,
we got the manship for table.
So based on the video, they didn't let them train and stuff like that. I mean,
Wait, they've been training and losing. What do
So
you
what
think
do you want
will
to watch
happen
them
if you
train?
stop them from training?
yeah. So I mean, Lobby,
Say no to cultism.
Lobby stars are in a mess, So, and I guess that was what led to that particular incident. So, Lobby are fine now.
Oh, they're fine. Thank you very much.
Get sanctioned by the league.
By which league?
For being attacked.
I mean, it's their fans now. Like
Oh,
if you
exactly.
if you fail to control your
They
fans,
did not.
you say that
First of all,
Was
stop
it-
using all this Premier League eyes to judge league where we don't know whether we go play next season.
We'll
But-
definitely play next season.
Okay, if you say so, I'll take your word for it. But like, the only reason we can even laugh about it is because we know for a fact nothing happened to any player. So we know
they're
nobody was
fine.
armed, no
They're
player, no official was armed. So we are grateful for that. It's just funny sometimes to hear that cultism and NPFL.
I mean,
can-
it's Nigeria.
Anyway, but let's quickly. The league apparently was on a short break. Remo Stars top of the league, 8 points gap.
No, the league was not on a short break. What happened was that not every team played because of international break. For example, Remo Stars lost both goalkeepers to national duty, so they didn't play.
And the coach as well.
Yes, and the coach. Rivers United had a chance to close the gap to 2 points. Finny the George showed why he was sacked why he resigned as Super Eagles coach. Failed to do that.
He resigned.
Now-
We are still going with that story.
yeah.
Right. Did he resign?
I mean, that's what we were told. Even though NFF are yet to confirm the resignation.
There was an official confirmation on IG Live, but let's talk about the title race.
Yeah,
Remo
so
Stars,
like I
8
said,
points clear.
Remo Stars
With
are
a game in
back.
hand.
Yeah, they are back to play. Their goalkeepers are back, the coach back. So they restored the 8-point lead with a game in hand. So at the moment, they look really sure banker for that title, their first ever title. So I think the league is done. The NPFL is done. The way it's going, Remo Stars are not, going to back down. They are.
I mean, 8-point lead in the NPFL is like 20-point lead.
So, sorry,
Yeah.
do you think that they can represent us properly in the Champions League?
I think they've tried, but one thing with them is that every season they try to get better. They've come back to back second place in the league, and now I think one of the driving force so far this season was that the coach Ogumodede is friends with Fidelis Izuchukwu, and Izuchukwu won the league last year.
Yeah, with Rangers, who
So-
are currently 5th.
Yes. So since then, Ogumodede has become serious about winning the league too. I mean, his friend has won.
That implies he was not serious before last season.
No,
And
no.
they finished second for the last 2 seasons.
Yeah,
in a row.
because throughout last season, Fidelis was saying, we're not interested in the league. We're just building. We're just building. They won the league. So now Ogumodede does not listen to anything. He doesn't want to hear anybody say anything to him. His own is that his boys must always go out there to
All
do
right,
something.
so we're out of time. Let me just quickly run through the important parts of the table. Remo Stars top of the league, 8 points
Yeah.
clear of Rivers United in second, Abia Warriors third, and Shooting Stars fourth.
For
Where the NPFL
Joba
works.
Shooting Stars.
Yeah, top 2 teams qualify for the Champions League preliminary rounds. Then third qualify for the Confederations Cup.
Then FA Cup
And
winner.
the FA Cup winner takes the 4th Confederations Cup slot. So 4 teams represent on the continent. And Rangers, even in Ikorodu City, who started the season poorly, are 6th now and in the race for to secure continental football. So rooting for them, the only Lagos team at the moment. Relegation race, Atlant relegated last season, bought slots and are about to relegate. It is so funny.
They will buy another slot.
Is that not if you see willing seller?
They will see.
If that's what you want to run your business model, just every season we drop 150 million to buy slots. There are currently 18 showing why they got relegated last season. 19 Sunshine
With the
Stars,
Super Eagles legend.
and then Lobby Stars bottom of the league and looking guaranteed for relegation, which inspired a group of passionate fans to intervene. Yeah, you see, if it was abroad, they will call them out. Because of Nigeria, we don't imported it as Cultists. And that's where I have the problem. Just because they have daggers and knives and guns doesn't mean that they were trying to hunt somebody and they are chanting or something. I don't know what they were chanting. But we have obviously come to the end of this show.
Yeah.
Do you have time for a little game? No, we don't. Before our own personal cultists, we stormed the set with their own weapons.
So we have a personal one now.
So let's do injury time and get out of here. There's no fun fact today because I realize not here. But let's do injury time. Cristiano Ronaldo versus Mo Salah, Premier League legacy. That's the convention. That's the convention that has happened throughout the international break, but because we were busy, we want to get to it. Obviously, our guest is here, Jimmy, and I know he's a Ronaldo guy.
Oh, okay.
He's a Ronaldo guy. After Georgina, nobody feels Ronaldo more than him.
Sure is after.
In fact, I think he actually has held Ronaldo closer than Georgina.
That's probably why Ronaldo never get it. How do we go feel if I go buy this babe?
Let us do it simple, straightforward. You are the Ronaldo guy. He's a Liverpool fan, so I assume he's a Salah guy. So defend their Premier League legacies in 30 seconds. Let me set my clock. Who wants to go first?
Let me go first.
Okay.
Mo Salah.
All right, ladies first. And Joba, you have 30 seconds. Mo Salah or Cristiano Ronaldo? Who has the better Premier League legacy? Uno, dos, tres, cuatro. Go.
No disrespect to Ronaldo, he's top 3 greatest player of all time. But in terms of Premier League, I mean, Salah is arguably top 2, top 3, if anywhere you want to look at. Since he came to the Premier League, scored 20 plus goals, at least 20 plus goals in every season. Broke the most goals scored in a single season before in a 20-man Premier League season before Erling Haaland came on board. Also,
thank you very much. 30 seconds. It's 30 seconds now because you they talk like when they give advisory committee speech. So,
He never finished for play.
Jimmy,
Destroy him.
Jimmy, you have 30 seconds. Hopefully, you do a better job. So let's go.
Okay, so when a player has spent like 8 years in the Premier League and he has done things that are not even up to what someone did in literally half that span. I mean, we all remember just one season I'm going to quote for you, 07-08 Ronaldo won every individual award that the player can win in a single season. One Ballon d'Or, one Premier League. So what exactly are we talking about? We are talking about quality versus quantity. For me, Ronaldo blows him out of the water.
Yeah, speaking of blowing, 25 seconds is doing tricks on it. It was oh my god. You got the job.
You are saying it as if you are the one and you catch Ronaldo, you don't go do him.
What?
No, yeah. Then your denial go sound.
We are done. Thank you. There's no breakup. That's all I'm telling you. I'm saying on that note, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously you won. I mean, you cannot do all that hard work and not win. But yeah, thank you very much for gracing us your friend Jimmy Anisulowo. Faruq did this with us. Izuchukwu, no, you will not. Izuchukwu. Joba Ogunwale, we joke a lot on the show. My name is Tunde Young. OnlyFootball. Thank you very much for watching, liking, subscribing, sharing. We have thousands of you that are interested in this show and showing it with your consistent participation. Thank you. We do not take it for granted. Please tell somebody else about the show. Let us grow the family and become even bigger. Not physically, because see what is going on here. But on that note, we are signing out. See you next week.